Okay, so what's the process today that you're chomping at the bit to find out? The process is that we'll be going through on your sheets of paper, if you want to get those out now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'll have to share. Thank you.
I have put together some material for each chakra, and we're going to go through this in detail because it consists of what I call brain teasers, and this is due to Carolyn Mace's work, which I want you to be sure to put on your list. Her book, The Creation of Health, and it's also in partly due to C. Norman Shealy. And it's the emotional, psychological, and spiritual responses that promote health and healing. Now that's a mouthful to say, but what is so great about this book is that for each chakra, she has asked some very specific questions. And so my brain teasers are directly from this book. All right, the rest of it I've developed. But we will go through the brain teasers to understand more about what the issues for each chakra are. We'll talk then about the negative thought patterns that are associated with those issues. We'll talk as well about how they manifest as dis-ease in the body. So if you have root problems, what happens physically in the root if those kinds of issues aren't taken care of. And then we get into what I love is the fun part. It's the symbolic stuff that we were working a little bit with before. So I'll talk to you about, well, now what are some root characters? You heard me give you a little teaser just a moment ago. Some root characters might be potatoes or beets. In fact, I wrote a story about Beethoven, which I know, I'm so corny. But anyway, it's fun. And we'll talk about, all right, what kinds of comic book characters, vegetables, plants, animals, people from TV shows, whatever. Just, they don't have to be and shouldn't be for this because it's more fun if you just have other kinds of characters than real people. So I'll ask you, all right, what are the kind of root characters that you want in your story, and where is this story going to take place? And then, what is this story all about? Lots of people, one of the things I had to learn over the years was to really decide what I was writing about, because otherwise you wander all over the place, and you'll do some of that anyway. But this story is about a potato struggling to get the weeds cleared away so it can thrive and grow. Okay, and of course that's a metaphor for any of us who are, you know, stuck with the weeds in our lives that we have to get rid of in order to grow. All right, so we'll talk about the themes, what the story is about. There's a little sample story, which I'm not sure I'll give you. We'll maybe just start in and actually start the story. And then we'll talk a little bit about, okay, if this is a root character, like a potato that normally doesn't talk, but in this case it is allowed to.
Right.
What sounds do root characters make in trying to come up through the dirt? Yeah, all those, remember those primal sounds that we were working with? Yeah, so we got to hear some sounds of struggle and effort, and you know, and then what kinds of sounds would happen when you finally crash through the barrier? Yeah. So we're particularly working with sounds for the particular root we're working on. And at the end then, when we finally resolve this, we'll come up with a positive ending, a positive affirmation, and sound that into the root chakra. So maybe the first story will be one that Misha wants to work on, or maybe it'll be one that Anna wants to work on, or maybe I'll come up with one, whatever. We'll give that person a turn to actually receive that affirmation in their chakra, okay? So any questions that you have regarding how this works?
Yes, but I think that they'll all be uncovered or answered as we progress.
Right, because we're going to take this very first example and really thoroughly go through each of those points. And we'll do that, of course, for all the rest of the chakras. But this one we'll do in detail so you get an idea of what's going on. Okay, so